Hi, hope you're all well. Bernard here on behalf of Movie Game Nostalgia. It's Thursday, the 22nd of August. Can I just wish my youngest daughter a happy birthday today? She's 33, and obviously how she got to that age when I'm only in my 40s, I just do not know. But there you go. Happy birthday, Sarah. Have a great one anyway, and I'll see you very, very soon. Right, it's Thursday, the 22nd of August. So Thursday's our regular look at some films from the 90s and the 2000s that obviously was video and DVD had reached its peak, and we still have video shops. I still have my video shop. So I look back at some posters, just 10 posters and films at the time. And I felt like last week I found out that obviously the films we looked at, a lot of people hadn't actually seen them, and then went back and rewatched them, or rewatched them. If they'd watched them that long ago, they'd forgot. So it's a good way of looking at some nice posters and also remembering some films we may have forgotten that are worth a watch again. If you can fit it into your tight schedules. Right. So let's start off with a nice one. This is from 2001 on the IMDb. It only received a 5.6 out of 10 rating, which I think was a bit unfair. And I think at the time it sort of went under the radar and people forgot about it. But now, how you can forget about the lovely J-Lo, or Jennifer Lopez as she was known then. Obviously, she changed to J-Lo. Rented on DVD video from the 25th of March. So 2001. Obviously, video on DVD still about. Lovely post. I mean, I think she got nominated for a Golden Raspberry, which is like for the worst actress. But very unfair. I mean, there's nothing wrong with J-Lo's acting. She's done some really good films, and she's no worse than a lot of other people you see on the movies. You got little Jim Caviezel there. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Just a little picture of him. And she plays a policewoman who comes across a strange guy, and they strike up a relationship. But if you haven't seen the film, go out and watch it. It flopped badly. I think it made about $30 million with over 50 million budget. So it did flop badly, but it's not a bad little film. It's quite clever. So if you've not seen that, Angel Eyes, and it's a lovely poster. If you're into J-Lo, look at that. It's a lovely, great condition. I actually sold one of these yesterday, so I'm now down to my last two on this one. But it is a great little poster there with and J-Lo fans. What more could you ask for? Go and watch the film if you've not seen it. Right, the next one is another one that sort of wouldn't be everyone's taste. It was a drama. Came out in 1999, based on a book. It's a US-UK Ireland collaboration. It got good scores, IMDb 7.3 out of 10. But the very fact of the storyline meant I don't think it did really well at the box office. It really did struggle a bit. So, award-winning book by Frank McCourt, which can cause controversy. I don't think Frank McCourt enjoyed the film too much. Emily Watson, Robert Carlyle, Angela's Ashes. Triumph rises from the ashes. And it's a powerful drama set in pre-war Limerick. I think it's actually filmed in Cork, but obviously the film itself is set in Limerick. You can just tell by the picture there with the background. I mean, you're talking a time of great poverty there, and it's a drama. Obviously, looking into this at the time, booking a film. I love this film. I remember watching it, and if you like a really good drama, this is super. A bit like me that when I was young, to be honest, when I had some hair as well. Robert Carlyle plays the male lead, struggling guy in this, but I think Liam Neeson was earmarked originally for it, but he didn't do it for whatever reason. So Robert Carlyle stepped in. Obviously, Emily Watson. Who doesn't like Emily Watson? She does some great stuff. And say that's 20 years ago now, but look, great poster. And if you've not seen the film or you want to rewatch it because you have seen it, and, oh yeah, that was a good film, go and watch it. I would recommend that one. Angela's Ashes. Good condition. I've got 3 of those, so all excellent condition. Some of these the letter A's are always near the top of the pile, obviously, when they're being moved about. So sometimes they get a little bit banged about. There's a couple here that have not as in greater condition, but I'll show you them anyway, because there's one particularly that it's my last one. So even though it's not perfect, it's well worth having. Right, the next one. Well, I mean, this obviously was one of the bigger box office hits at the time. IMDb only give it a 6.2 out of 10. 2003 wasn't a massive score, but it is what it is. You'll see who's in it. I mean, we're talking Jack Nicholson and Adam Sandler. So I mean, we're talking two legends really in the comedy side there. And this obviously Sandler was doing quite a lot of output at the time. Feel the Love. I mean, there's not much on the poster, but those two. I mean, what more can you say? It made 200 million at the box office on a 75 million budget, so it did okay at the box office. And also there was a spawned a TV series. It didn't feature either of these two, I don't think, but I don't even remember the TV series actually. And there's a small part for a female judge called Lynn Thigpen. I think sorry if I've not pronounced that correctly. She plays a judge in this, obviously, who gives poor Adam Sandler anger management courses with Jack Nicholson, who's the leader of these courses, and is even worse at anger than the people he's trying to teach anger management to. But the judge in this, yeah, she sadly died about a month before the film's release. So the film's dedicated to this Lynn Thigpen who plays the judge. But I like simple. But Nicholson and Sandler, what more can you say? And to watch it, yeah, I mean, I did enjoy it. It's a bit silly, but it's not his greatest. It's not Adam Sandler's greatest, but it's well worth a watch if you've missed that along the way. Right, then we go from one comedy to another one, which is probably even this one has got a little bit of damage on it. I'll show you. This was a weird comedy that. Again, didn't do great at the cinema. I think it did all right. Yeah, it did 85 million for a budget of 50, so it wasn't too bad. But it's Rob Schneider, who obviously did a few silly things at the time. I mean, there's just a little tear in the bottom there, if you can see that. But obviously, this is the anger management. I have 2 of those. This is the only one I've got, unfortunately. This animal now. This is my last one. He wasn't much of a man. Now he's not much of an animal. So. He has an injury and some sort of doctor guy fixes him up, but obviously gives him animal parts. So silly. I mean, I thought it was all right at the time. I mean, he did other stuff, obviously, that was a lot funnier, but it was all right. It was probably rushed out to take advantage of him. 2001. Only got 4.8 out of 10 on IMDb, so not a great rating, but it was okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a nice little poster. There's one part in it where he catches a frisbee in his mouth. I think it's on the trailers as well for the film. And I mean, that's probably the highlight of the film. He jumps up in the air and he catches his frisbee like a dog would. And unfortunately, it was all done by CGI. So that was a bit disappointing. I thought he'd done it for real, but there you go. So yeah, that's interesting, but perhaps not the best, and not the best film today. It's probably one of the weakest films today that we're going to look at. I would still say have a look at it if you've not seen it. You like Schneider, have a watch. It has its moments. For any comedy's going to have some parts that'll make you laugh. Right, on to the next one. Again, another one that really did go under the radar at the time. Flop, but I mean, didn't have a big budget. It was only about 3 or 4 million budget, so it wouldn't have took much to get money back, but it struggled. It never really got going. So I think it did better on video. It was back in 2000, so there's no claim of getting it on DVD on this one. Just rent it on video now. So it was borderline with the DVD video releases. Uncompromising, truly chilling, more powerful and realistic than The Shawshank Redemption. Disturbing and brilliant, gripping, the film that deserves attention. It's basically a prison thing. Edward Furlong, Willem Dafoe, great pictures of those two characters there. And I remember liking this. It got 6.6 out of 10 on IMDb, which is a pretty good rating. So it was a good film. I remember liking it. Nice, not the greatest poster, but obviously if you like those two actors, you should like it. Apparently in the movie, there's a few. They use an old prison that they'd reopen for the movie, but they did actually use some real convicts for the extras in this. So where they shipped them in from, I don't know, but that would have been interesting. But good film, underappreciated, but well worth a watch if you want to go back and watch that one. Animal Factory. The next one features one of my favourite actresses, and also an actor who obviously did a lot of martial arts stuff in it, and obviously came over and did a few Hollywood things. And there's no singing in this, but it was Jodie Foster, Chow Yun Fat. Take It Home Tonight, the kind of epic movie you probably thought they didn't make anymore. The Sunday People, that's still going, isn't it? And it's Anna and the King, so it's the classic King and I story. I think it was probably banned in Burma for not being historically correct. I don't think they allowed it to be shown there. Obviously, we're talking Siam and Burma. Obviously, now modern day changes in the names and where they are. This was 1999. Got a 6.7 rating on IMDb, and yeah, it was a good film. It didn't, again, it's one of those. It isn't going to mass appeal, but it's a good story. Some good scenes in it as well. It's not battle scenes, but there's obviously many things going on between the various rulers of the countries. And yeah, there's no singing in it, but Jodie Foster. I mean, look at Jodie Foster there. She looks lovely, doesn't she? Chow Yun Fat. Does a good job of the acting, although it's not his main requisite, obviously, to act. But obviously had a budget of 92 million and it made 114 million at the box office. So not fantastic, but obviously just about got its money back. And I think Jodie Foster earned $15 million for that one as well. So she did all right out of it. I've got a couple of those. Oh, the Animal Factory, I've got 6 copies of those. So I've got plenty of those if you like that one. So that's Anna and the King. Well worth a watch if you've not seen it. I've got a couple of copies of that. Great condition. Jodie Foster. Next one. It's a British one, this. It came out following things like East is East and Bend It Like some average footballer I can't remember the name of now. Bend It Like him. Again, this is the one that obviously has an Asian influence, and it's Asians growing up in the Midlands in the 70s. So if you like that sort of East is East sort of thing, how they cope with society at that time in the UK, obviously it's a lot of good British known actors in it. You have Max Beasley, Sanjeev Baksar, Kathy Burke, Omid Jalili, I'm sorry about that, I've been pronouncing it wrong, Aisha Darker, Ling Redgrave, Christine Tramarko, Mark Williams, Meera Sale, Anne Brewster, Chandeep Upal. I mean, it did fly under the radar. 26th of May there. So if you like the film, 26th of May is any significance for you. Yeah, I mean, not just anything interesting on this. It was based on a book. The book was actually set in the 60s, but obviously this is set in 1972 in the Midlands. So. And it got a 6.4 out of 10 rating on IMDb, so not a total disaster. And if you do like the East is East, and you say the possibility you may have missed this one because obviously it was, as I say, it sort of did go under the radar a little bit compared to the East is East and the other thing I mentioned, Bend It Like Somebody. Yeah, I mean that's worth a watch again if you've not seen it. Good, typical British-made sort of thing. I've got 4 copies of that poster, all great condition. Anita and Me. Right, the next one, I believe this is based on a true story. I think the actual guy actually wrote the screenplay, wrote it. Eventually, it was taken up by 20th Century Fox. This guy had to rewrite the screenplay. He was actually took part in it. And obviously, you got the famous Denzel Washington involved, so that obviously helped the film. And it was Denzel Washington's directorial debut. There's a couple of little scuffs on this on the corners. I mean, this can be trimmed. There's nothing serious. Got 4 copies of this. There's probably a better copy in the back there. So it's a good. I mean, Antoine Fisher, Derek Luke, Denzel Washington. So he directs it and obviously stars in it. Denzel Washington. Video on DVD. This is one of the most accomplished films in recent memory, enjoyable and inspirational. Yeah, I think he's obviously in the Navy, and he has anger problems. Obviously, again at that time as a black man in the U.S. Navy, I suppose it was not an easy time. The film was made in 2002. It got 7.3 out of 10 rating on IMDb, which is very, very good. So it made 24 million at the box office, only on a budget of 12 million. So it wasn't massive, but again, it could be one that you've actually missed. And it's just a nice, good drama. It's worth a watch. And Denzel Washington. Derek Luke, I'm not familiar with him too much now. I've not looked up on what he's done, but Denzel Washington, I mean, what more can you say? Good film, worth a watch. Nice poster. And I've got 4. I've got 4. Is it 4 of these? So, but as I say, I might be able to find 1 or 2 that are better. But you say a couple little marks. They get beaten out a bit. Some of these when over the years when I've been moving and stuff like that. Right, the last 2 now. Another one that's got a little mark on it, and I've checked. So I've got 5 of these, but they've all got a similar mark. But it's right on the edge, so it can be trimmed again to fit without any detriment to the film. But we're talking an Oliver Stone film, Al Pacino, Cameron Diaz, Dennis Quaid, Jamie Foxx, James Woods, LL Cool J. Obviously, we've got the lovely Cameron Diaz on the picture now. An angry, shouty Al Pacino there. So any given Sunday, it's about American football. It is a bit long, about 2.5 hours if you've not seen it. It got 6.9 out of 10 on IMDb, which is very passable, good score. And it is a good film. I mean, obviously, it's American football, but it's like any sport. If you like sport, it's the locker room. There's a little mark there, a little white mark, like it's right on the edge, which is on all the 5 posters I've got. I say you can actually just trim that about 3 millimeters, and it's you won't even see it. But good film, well worth a watch. I mean, Al Pacino apparently liked this film because it was different to the normal cops and gangster things he was doing at the time. So he enjoyed doing this. And an edge of your seat thrill ride. Well, yeah, I mean, for it doesn't sound exciting, does it? Behind the scenes, American football team. But yeah, but it was a really good film. See it first on video. So you're talking 1999, so we're still video there rather than the DVDs. But 20 years old, good film. And the last one, again, is I've only got 1 of these posters, and it's my final one. I have sold a couple over the years. I had 2 or 3 originally. But possibly, Any Given Sunday was 100 million it took at the box office on a 55 million budget. So it did pretty good. And this next one, you're talking a 50 million budget, but it took over $350 million at the box office. And I've actually watched this recently again with certain things with the Apollo 11 stuff, obviously recently, the celebration of that. And it was the Ron Howard film. You'll know. I mean, great. I mean, this is a superb pick. I mean, I might take this off sale actually and just frame it and keep it myself. Tom Hanks, Kevin Bacon, Bill Paxton, Gary Sinise, Ed Harris, Apollo 13. A fantastic film. I mean, I'm sure you've watched it. But as I said, I've watched it a few times, and I literally watched it a couple of weeks ago when all the Apollo 11 stuff was being mentioned. 7.6 out of 10 on IMDb. I mean, I'd give it 9 at least. I mean, some people are being a bit mean with 7.6, I think, there. But at a PG, so, it's a film you can introduce to the kids if they're into that sort of thing as well. As I said, a massive box office hit. Great film. I think there's one part of the film where Lovell's wife loses a ring, and some people, it's a bit dramatic, but apparently she did lose a ring at the time. She did find it again, but obviously the stress of this, I mean, it seemed a little thing, obviously, but that would be devastating to lose a wedding ring or an engagement ring of someone you love when they're in this sort of predicament. So yeah, apparently that was true in real life, but she did find it. But to finish off, I don't think we could finish. I didn't plan it. It was just 10 posters at random, so it was a cracking one to finish off. And it's my last one, as I said. Yeah, better be quick. I might take it off actually and frame it, stick it on my wall. Apollo 13, fantastic, great poster, the best poster today, I think. So yeah, there you have it. 10 films, of which most of them are worth a watch if you've not seen them. They're probably the weakest of those. I'm probably going along with Animal with Schneider in, but again, I like it. If you like it, watch it. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. That's the Thursday rundown of posters and films finished. Tomorrow I'll be doing a little movie quiz again, my second movie quiz. You don't have to go at the first one, have a look back at the videos and do the first one. Tomorrow there's another one with 15 questions, a bit of a mix, some kids' questions from some films, multiple choice films, questions to make it a bit easy, and some kids' films thrown in there as well. So that'll be tomorrow, Friday, the 23rd of August. So that'll be in movie quiz number 2. But go back and look at number 1 and have a go at that if you've not done it yet. All good fun. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe, subscribe, tell your friends, get them on board. It'd be great. I'm on Twitter at nostalgia_movie. I'm on Facebook at Bernard Deneen. But then there's links there to Movie Game Nostalgia. My website is moviegamenostalgia.com, where all these posters are available, and much more daily blogs and reviews, and obviously DVDs and board games, which obviously you should know about now in review on board games. And obviously on YouTube, I'm on Bernard Deneen YouTube, and which is what you're on now. So subscribe, push the bell notification, give us your support. I'd really appreciate it. And just have a great day with whatever you're doing. And I will be back tomorrow with the little movie quiz number 2. Bye for now.